Are you trying to figure out how to find a mentor? Hey, what's up? It's Coach Carroll. Welcome to another video here on my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to go about finding that mentor that'll help you get to the next level. Listen, there's no secret that mentors are certainly a shortcut to get to a higher level in skill. Now, today we'll be talking specifically in business, but this could be in sports, it could be in the medical field, really anywhere that you're trying to learn. I've found that mentors are some of the best forms of education. Let me tell you a quick little story. When I was a senior in high school, a lot of you know that I started my lawn and landscaping business and quickly grew that to over $3 million in revenue. But in those early days, I decided that I was going to try to go to college. You see, I was the first person in my entire family to attend college, and I did go to community college for a little while. And I quickly realized that that form of education is very slow. And what I was learning in college, the struggle and the difficulty with learning from that institutional type of education system, let's just call it that, institutional type learning, is that they make you well-rounded. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but for the sake of time, in the sense of speed and wanting to learn quickly, it didn't work well for me. I had already started my business. I knew what I was doing with my life. I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so when I went there to study business, I quickly realized that there was a lot of fluff. There's a lot of fringy type classes that I had to take. And so like I had to take like, what was one of the dumb ones? Computer processing. And so like I had to go sit in this class and learn about all the things Microsoft Word and Excel could do. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need to learn that. The icing on the cake for me was history of rock and roll. So you may have heard me tell this story before, but I went into the guidance counselor or the advisor's office, and I said, hey, I want to take business finance. You know, my business is growing. I want to learn more about business finance. And they said, well, that's a 300 level class, DJ. You can't take business finance because you don't have the prerequisites. I was like, prerequisites? What are you talking about? And they said, well, you have to take accounting. And I was like, all right, accounting, that kind of makes sense. And you have to take a history of rock and roll because I needed that humanities class or whatever. And I was like, you got to be shitting me. I have to take history of rock and roll in order to be able to take business finance. And so that was a big turnoff for me. And really when it comes to speed, if you're trying to learn quickly, because if you're like me, like I didn't have a lot of money. My parents raised us in a very humble setting. My dad never made more than $20 an hour. And so nothing was getting handed to me. And so I had to figure out a way, and I knew I didn't want to take a bunch of student loans. So I was trying to figure out, you know, how could I grow my business and get the education that I needed to be able to grow my company quickly and make money quickly, because I started my business with $300. So there's a lesson in itself. Don't ever let an excuse hold you back from chasing a goal or a dream. So I dropped out of college. I was like, there's got to be a better way. So I said, maybe I'll just read books. Maybe I'll just, and you guys see I've got a pretty extensive library. I'm mildly dyslexic, so I do a lot of audiobooks now, but I bought some books at Goodwill. A great place to pick up books for really cheap. I'm talking like 50 cents. I've got the book back here, the Jack Welch book on the GE philosophy and the GE principles, how he managed at General Electric, which is a huge company. Everybody knows Jack Welch. And if you don't, then just type in his name in the search bar after you watch the video. Not right now, after the video's done. But I was like, all right, maybe I can just read books. And so I started reading. I was like, wow, okay, I can get some really good information because I can find these guys or these gals that are smarter than I am, that have been down this path, and I can learn from them through this book. But then something really special happened in like 2007, 2008. YouTube, which is where you're watching this video probably, YouTube started bubbling up, and there started being people that put out content just like I'm doing. And it was a way for people to kind of give back, if you will. A lot of times, you know, there's this stigma around free content, but I truly do just put out content because I really enjoy it, right? And I love giving back. I think it's my true life's purpose and what God called me to do. So here we are in this video right now learning about how to get a mentor. And so I was on YouTube and I found a sales coach and I did some research and I read all his articles that he put out and I hired him and I called him and I said, hey, I want you to coach me. He said it's $6,000. I was like, bro, I'm 19 years old. How am I going to pay for that? And he's like, oh, we'll just put it on a credit card. I'm like, I don't have a credit card with a $6,000 limit. So we had to do like post-dated checks, but it's in essence, he was one of my first mentors. And you know, really anybody that's ever taught you anything can be considered a mentor. But one of the best ways that I've figured out how to find high-level mentors is either through hiring them as a coach or a consultant, or I get to events, live events that I can network with people, because sometimes people in the audience I'll make connections with and then they can become a mentor of a such. Or maybe even some of the speakers, I'm like, wow, it's like mentorship with a fire hose, because it's a fully immersive learning environment. So like if you've never been to like a live training, like a live seminar, they truly are transformational. There's no other way to gain learning and knowledge like that. And so that's a great way to grab mentors as well. And then lastly, I would say just reaching out to people in your local market. So Rick Kieber is a guy here. He owns Suntan City. He owns several Planet Fitnesses here in Louisville. And I just reached out to him and DM'd him on Instagram one day and was like, hey man, you know, I like what you're doing. Could we meet for coffee? And he said, sure. And, you know, I was able to meet with him and gain some insights and knowledge. But you just have to put yourself out there. That's the first step. No matter what you do, you either have to put yourself out there by enrolling in courses, either in college or online courses. That's why I made Sales Excellence University, was because like I didn't like the way college was, and I was like, so what happens if someone quits their job and needs to learn how to sell? They need to be able to do that quickly. And so it's kind of like a trade school, if you will, for sales. And we've had great results with it. Lots of people, Eric Trice, for instance, you know, came out, hopped into the course, and like within 12 weeks was like banging on the phones, making cold calls, closing tens of thousands of dollars worth of accounts. So, you know, there's the education side from courses and classes. There is the form of hiring coaches. There's a form of just reaching out to people and asking for help. Then there's live events. And then another one that comes to mind too is, I'll tell you this, I wasn't thinking about it before I recorded the video, but now it just hit me. The SCORE, S-C-O-R-E, SCORE, just like you spell SCORE. It's like Small Business Council or something like that. Check them out. They'll have a local office, and it's like part of like the SBA, which is Small Business Administration. They'll help match you up with a mentor as well. I had a mentor through there, Jerry Mudd, still remember his name. He bought and sold shoe stores, but I took from it what I could, and you know, and we met I think 3 or 4 times, and on the last one he said, DJ, this will be the last time we meet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what I do, man? I'd piss this guy off. And he goes, buddy, I've poured everything I can into you. I want to wish you the best. And I was like, that's so cool, man. It was like a journey of just like, you know, getting me ready for battle and then sending me out. So there's lots of different ways to get mentors. Hopefully that you took something out of those. If you have an idea of how to get mentors that I didn't share, leave it in the comments down below. I would love to see that, and maybe it'll help somebody else out. And if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. It lets me know what videos to do more of. And then if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do that. And then lastly, I'll just leave you with this, is I want to invite you to a live event that I'm having. You know, I do sales training, sales and marketing training all across the U.S., but I'm actually putting on my own live event. It's a full-day seminar right here in Louisville, Kentucky. You can get all the information at LouisvilleIgnite.com. LouisvilleIgnite.com. I'll put a link down below. Tickets are about $250, but you might be able to, depending on when you watch this video, you might be able to catch some of those early bird specials and discounts, but we'll feature breakfast and lunch. And we're going to go over a whole day of training. And so I'll open the day up with some personal development stuff, and we'll get you 4 quadrants to the 4 pillars of entrepreneurship, which are, you know, dream more, be more, do more, and give more. And so I'll go into a little detail with that. Then my buddy Frank will come on. He's going to talk about getting your brain out of its way in the fog that you've got to clear out. He's got a really cool presentation on just your mindset. And then I'll do social assisted selling, which is my framework that I teach salespeople on how they can use social media to actually make more money other than just like wasting time and watching cat videos. And then we'll have lunch together, which is cool. Like everybody will sit together and we'll be hanging out. We'll come back from lunch and Frank will be putting on a presentation of the mistakes that leaders make. He's got a really cool framework to break down how to coach your employees when they're not doing so well. So we'll help you with that. And then lastly, I'll do a time management course, and then we'll do a Q&A and a panel at the end, and then I'll hang out in the afternoon. I look forward to meeting you. Hopefully you can make it to the event. I know it's certainly a way. I would love to be a mentor of yours. If you can't make it, then there's tons of video, tons of content right here on the YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching today. Again, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, I'm Coach Carroll. Hustle, it's worth it.